Hello and welcome to the Projector project. My name is Diederik. This is Swami, and we are coming to you live from Spain. It's the last of the light today, and I wanted to talk to you about being recognized as a projector in school. And just in general, if you are a parent of a projector or you're a projector yourself, just reflecting on the experience of being a projector in school. And how now being older, looking back at that experience, I can really see like, wow, this is the projector mechanics at play. So join me as we walk around the garden and we talk a little bit about this. So let me share with you my experience. So what I always remember from school is that I always wanted to be recognized by my teachers. That's what I wanted. I yearned for that. And when I got that, just out of the virtue of having the right teacher, I would thrive. If I wasn't seen or recognized, I'd struggle. As simple as that. Now, this is me. Because of the nature of my dad's work, he worked in oil and gas. We moved every 3 years. We've lived in France, we've lived in Holland, we've lived in Thailand, Nigeria, in Africa, the United States, Texas in particular, Houston specifically. I did 3 years of English school, then 3 years of Dutch schooling, then 7 years of French schooling, then 3 years of English to finish up, and graduated high school in Paris, and then went on to do a bachelor and a master's degree. And for me, particularly the high school and younger experience, it was really night and day, guys. And it was, my brother's a projector as well. He's also just like me, just having one channel defined, the 4426, defined spleen and ego, splenic projector 5-1. That's me. My brother's a 2-4. And both of us, when we were recognized by teachers, we would thrive. Particularly my brother. I remember when he was younger, he was maybe like 9 years old or so. It could even be more like 10, but he was in school and he was thriving. He had one teacher. This is when you still have the one teacher. When you get into high school, you have a teacher for social studies, for math, for English, etc., etc. And he thrived. And this was just a lovely woman that he had as a teacher. This is someone who, came up to him sometimes and did one of those on his cheek, like the way a mother does. And he just felt recognized and seen, and he thrived. He was top of his class together with a friend of his, who's still a friend of his, still a friend of mine as well. And both of them were top of the class. And then the next year, they ended up in a class where my brother was not only not seen, he was picked on by the teacher, just targeted for no real reason. And he suffered. He suffered under that, from not being seen or recognized. In that case, maybe even the opposite, seen in the completely wrong way, being projected upon. And he's had a hard time recovering from that, especially because as a 2-4, 2-4s typically have a very sensitive heart. For the 2-4s out there, lots of love to you. And yeah, it's beautiful to have a sensitive heart. It's the same thing for the manifestors out there. Every manifestor I know has a sensitive heart. But just to go back to this, same thing for me, math was always a really good example. I still have nightmares about not going to math class all year long and then getting to the end of the year and then somehow having to reconcile for the fact I didn't go to class all year long. But to come back, I remember for the most part struggling in math. And especially in the French system. But then I went to France, and I remember the first year I was there in the American school, Paris. First year I was there, 10th grade. I was in this huge math class with a teacher who, just didn't really see me. Definitely there was no Just as a projector, you know when we feel seen, you know how that feels. If you are a projector, you know how that feels. It's just like, woof, you just like, there's just like, it's like someone, like a pilot going into the cockpit and like flipping all the switches, and it's just like, wow, there's lights, like holy moly, something's happening. It just, there's a focus that comes in, there's an energy that comes in, there's an excitement that comes in. And so 10th grade, having a teacher that didn't really care, I didn't do too well. And then the next year, this new teacher came in and she really saw me. I actually have a sneaky suspicion looking back that she was a projector as well, but she saw me. And I went from like a C minus D plus math student, for those in the American system, that's, for those that are not in that system, it's not very good, to being a B plus A minus student, which is good. And that even it being in 11th grade, so the next grade over. So, and then in 12th grade, going back to the same teacher I was with before, and my grades dropped again. Now, I know there is a sense of course, personal responsibility, but at the same time, you know, and I've said this before in other videos. In fact, I just posted a video about recognition. So this is particularly for just not only reflecting on like being in the educational system, whether it's, you know, high school or even in college or anywhere, trade school, whatever it is that you're doing. As a projector, when you are with the right instructor or teacher, or call it what you want, professor, you thrive. And if you have a child that's a projector that's struggling at school, it may be just because their teacher is not seeing them. It's that simple. Because my God, it's a lot, guys. Like it's a lot when you're that age. For me, that was everything. I mean, it's your world, right? It's your world. That's where you spend most of your waking hours, is in a classroom with a teacher that is an authority figure. And when that authority figure doesn't recognize you, like you feel like you're, I don't know, not worthy, unworthy, bad, like there's something wrong with you. And we talked about this with recognition in general. It's like, you know, looking back, and I said this in the other video, like sometimes it's like, you know, when you're recognized, it's great and it's easy. And when you're not recognized, it's like, okay, what do I need to do and who do I need to be in this interaction for them to see me? And that's where I'm really stepping away. I'm stepping away from that now. Like I've stepped away from that. Particularly when it comes now to the clients I work with. Like I call in my soulmate clients. They're of the same, you know, soul signature vibration. They see me and I see them. I see their core. I see that spark that sits right here. Like I see them and they see me. And you know, then being in the right environment is what this is really about, right? It's being in the right environment, whether you are doing, whether it's in a classroom or you're doing work as a coach, or you're in your, you know, whatever job you have as a projector or working with a projector. It is about that recognition. That recognition is everything. It's the energy and the enthusiasm that the projector needs to thrive. Now, yes, in the end, as projectors to thrive, the trick is that we need no validation from anyone, that we can walk into a room without needing anything from anyone, and that's when we become magnetic, that's when we become powerful, and that's when we attract the right invitations, or at least more invitations, and then we need to follow our strategy and authority to know which ones are correct and which ones are not. But the reason I'm putting out this video is, one, for the parents out there. Your projector child is going to be different. They're going to study different. They're going to do things differently. And the teacher is everything. It's like there was this survey that was done among a large group of people working across in different industries. And the conclusion was that 85% of job satisfaction came from the relationship with their manager. So you can be in a company with not the greatest corporate culture, but if you have the right manager, and especially when it sees you as a projector, man, you fly. Same thing is true with teachers. If you have the right teacher for your child, no matter how the school is, if you have the right teacher, your kid will thrive. Your projector kid will thrive. It's that simple. If your kid is struggling, it could be because of the teacher, right? Again, we can look at, okay, like, where is personal responsibility? You gotta, some things are tough, true. But when you're not recognized as a projector, it's like moving through mud. And again, we're here to be, not to do, right? That's the projectors here to be. The generators are here to do. So when you're with the right people in the right environment, you can be. You can just be. You can flow. And, again, that's the parents just letting you know, right? If you have a projector child, and if you are a projector, please comment, subscribe, let me know what your thoughts are on this as a projector or having a projector child or sibling. What's in your experience, both at school and also at work? And then for those who are, working a job where they don't feel recognized as a projector, get out. Like, okay, maybe that's a little, just get out. Just go. Just go somewhere else. Just be aware of that and recognize that this is really important, and that you can be in the same industry doing the same job, but if you're with the right people versus being with the wrong people, it makes all the difference. It always makes all the difference, but specifically as projectors, man, it's when our genius comes out. Our zone of genius depends on being recognized. Being seen and recognized, and then invited for us to use our talents, our gifts, our strengths, and our passions to make things better, to make things more efficient, to help guide processes that allow people to be in their strength. We have that big picture view of things. And that's our genius. Like, we know where energy needs to go. We know where imbalances are. We just feel that through virtue of this absorbing aura that we have, and then penetrating into other people's auras to see what it is that they need to thrive, and then creating a more harmonious environment. Sounds good, right? But to be in harmony with ourselves, we need to be in the right environment. So with that, in education, in school, and at work, we have to be in the right environment. So with that, I'm going to leave you. Love you. Thank you for watching and tuning in to this episode of the Projector Project. Comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what you guys thought of this, and what your experience has been. Hit the bell button. We're going to be putting out videos weekly, for sure. Maybe more, depending on what's coming through. There's just so much to talk about. And, I don't want to be dogmatic with the human design, in the sense that, like, you have your truth. You know your truth. You have the answers within you. The human design is just there to help make it even more precise, to polish who you are, who you see, how you see yourself, rather. So what I find, for example, just to round this off with my clients, it's not like, hey, this is what your design says, so this is who you need to be. It's like, no, you're telling me that this is your lived experience, and this is how you see yourself, and this is what really feels like your zone of genius. Then the human design is like, yeah, because that's what your design says. So it's like, I'm giving permission, not that I have to give permission, but like, it's helping a client give permission to themselves to be themselves, and then the confidence to be that person, right? It's like, yeah, that's how you do your things. That's what your design says. That's how you're meant to operate. Let the burden of trying to be someone you're not fall off of you. I love you, projectors. You're a special breed, and if you're not a projector watching this, you're all wonderful. It's wonderful how we're all unique, and our energetic type, or in BG5 what we call the career type, projectors being advisors. Yeah, it's just magical, honestly. So, love you guys. Catch you on the next one. Much love.